welcome to my channel. My name is Stair and today I will be doing a sustainable travel video on London. I've set this video up way too many times, so I hope that my face is not chopped off because otherwise you're gonna have to deal with it. So I was in London all of last week, or I was just outside of London and I went into London a couple of times and I did a bunch of fun stuff that I thought that I would share with you guys. So I'll be talking about transport, shopping, food, and activities that you can do in London that are maybe more sustainable than other activities that you could do, or just fun things that I did and I thought I would share with you guys. Before I start talking, I just want to mention how cute my t-shirt is because it's super cute and I bought it sustainably secondhand from a little secondhand buying clothes app, so I'm super excited about it. So first things first, you gotta get to London. So I live in Belgium, which means that it is super easy for me to take the Eurostar to London, which is like the main train. And just as a rule of thumb, it's generally more sustainable to travel by land than by air. Taking the train causes less emissions than taking the plane, so if you are traveling, try and take a train, and if you are taking a plane, it's always better to take a direct flight somewhere, because at every stopover, like restarting the engine is what causes the most emissions. Something like that. Okay, I'm not that informed either, just take a train, don't take a plane. If you are taking a plane, take one plane, not multiple planes. Voila. There are a lot of great websites where you can check out how much emissions you're producing with your journeys, no matter how long or short they are. So once you're inside London, traveling inside of London is super easy by public transport. They have these things called Oyster cards, which is a really cute name actually for the card. But basically you can just top up a bunch of money onto that and then you can use that for all their forms of public transport, which is mainly the metro system that they call the underground, or the tube. Is the tube just one metro? Okay. Their metro system. I'm just gonna call it a metro system. Metros are underground, trams are above ground. This is common knowledge. Okay, so they have a great metro system and they also have a lot of buses. And the buses are actually also really nice because they have those, red double-decker buses that are like typical London. If it's nice weather, I definitely recommend you walk around London because it actually does have a lot to offer. Architecture, in my opinion. Like, I can tell you I've walked around London and it is very pretty, so I recommend you do that if it is nice weather, which is not a lot. I gotta say, I've been to London a lot and it's mostly raining. Let's move on to the next section. So for shopping, I like to shop. I know I'm like sustainable and things, but I'm really not a minimalist. I'm definitely borderline shopaholic. So qua shopping, the main thing that I want to say is, a lot of people, like, if you see that people are in London, they will take your stereotypical like Instagram photo on Oxford Street or Regent Street, one of those huge shopping streets with all the little shops, and I get it, the photos look really great. No judgment, I would also probably take those photos, let's be real, but I wouldn't buy anything on those streets. I just like to walk there because I like the craziness. I just don't understand why you would go to a different city and then shop in all the same shops that you would shop in the city that you live in. But anyway, my point. Well, it wasn't yet a point, I was getting there. There are lots of great things that they have in London that they don't have everywhere else in the world. For example, charity shops. And if you watch my other two videos, then you know that I really love charity shops. But they're just really great. London is definitely also like super cool and trendy and hip and all those words that your mom uses that are not actually that cool, but I say them anyway. I'm talking about Brick Lane. It's this really long street with just a lot of thrift shops. And when I say thrift shops, I mean like vintage shops. Everything will cost you like 15 pounds upwards for like a t-shirt, but everything looks super aesthetic and really cool and just like it's all very curated. So they have a lot of those around the Brick Lane area, and they have huge markets. So for example, my friend and I, we went to the vintage market, I think it was called, and I obviously forgot the opening times. I think they're open every day. Okay, I'm just gonna put it in the description, so if you are going, if you want to check out the vintage place, the vintage market that we went to, just look at the Wow, I should really plan these videos better. It's a really cool area because they also have a lot of graffiti on the street. There's this one man that, I also forgot his name, I'm so sorry. Okay, there's this one street artist whose name I've forgotten, but I really loved him, and I'll put it here somewhere when I remember what it is. He was so cool, and he would make these broccolis out of plaster of Paris and like spray paint them in neon colors, and he like sticks them up around Brick Lane. And I don't know, it's something so ridiculous but so amazing, and I just really love it. But yeah, he was just really fun to talk to as well, just a really great guy that was talking about his art and where he gets his ideas from and how he started. And Brick Lane is just full of cool people and interesting things to look at, so definitely go and check it out if, you know, you're into that kind of thing. So for shopping, basically, to summarize, go to the charity shops, don't go to the fast fashion stores, and check out Brick Lane. That's all I want to say. So now to talk a little bit about food. Food. The vegan food. So the first place that I had lunch in London was, I don't know what this hand motion was. So the first place I had lunch in London was Farmstand, which is super great. Like, it's what I call sustainable food. Like, that's it. That's what they are. And they were so busy. It was like 11:55 and the whole place was full. They're a farm to table, which basically means that they have agreements with farmers in the local area, so that the food doesn't go through anybody else and the money goes directly to the farmers. They use local seasonal ingredients, which basically means that they will use winter crop in the winter time for their menu. Crop that's grown in England as opposed to avocados that are grown in South America. This is just much better because you don't have the emissions from the flight, and also you don't have to heat up huge greenhouses to make the heat for the summer crop. Okay, I don't know a lot about farming. It is important to get local seasonal ingredients because it is more sustainable. I will try and find an article or a fact sheet or something about that and put it down below because I'm not that smart, but the internet is, so I will let you know what's up. Okay, so where were we? They said they were 80% plant-based, 15% ethical meat, and 5% sustainable fishing. I mean, I'm plant-based, so, you know, I know that there's a bit of controversy around ethical meat because in the end the animal dies, so how ethical is it really? At least they're thinking about it. And sustainable fishing is really important because overfishing is a huge problem and fish species are dying because basically we eat so much fish. But I thought that was a cool thing that they explained it like that. And it was pretty affordable. I think it was like £8 for a meal with 2 sides. It was really, 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 really good. So I get why they're full a lot, like really full. So the next restaurant I went to was Mildred's, which was also incredibly full. But yeah, so we had a shared table with people, which is totally fine for me. Mildred's is 100% vegan. No, it's not. But basically their menu is vegan and the non-vegan things were specified instead of the other way around. But yeah, so I had a burger because I always have burgers because I love burgers, and you know, and it was really, really good, really, 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 really good. The burger was really good. So eat at Mildred's, okay? Even if you are not vegan, or if you are and your friends aren't, still a good place to take them to. Just try and make a reservation maybe. Don't go on a Saturday. As for activities, a lot of activities really are sustainable when you go to a new place. Just walking around and visiting things, going into like the Opera House, for example, or visiting Trafalgar Square or Piccadilly Circus. Like, most travel-y kind of things are sustainable. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Most things that you can do and visit are sustainable, but yeah, I just wanted to mention a couple of things that I did. For example, well, what I didn't do was I really wanted to go to the Sky Garden because I saw it on Instagram, but I forgot that you have to make a reservation, so we got there and I didn't have a reservation, and they were like, yeah, you can now make a reservation online for 9 p.m. and it was like nowhere near 9 p.m. So some of the things that you would probably already be doing in London is to go and see Buckingham Palace, for example, and the changing of the guards, you know, walking through St. James Park, walking through Hyde Park. Like, all these things are quite sustainable. But then I also just want to mention that there are a lot of nice museums in London because it always rains. It always rains in London. So the likelihood of you like thinking, I'm gonna walk around Hyde Park, but it's raining, so it's just not great. Go to a museum then, you know? I'll put a list of like all the free museums that there are in London because I can't remember them. But we went to Tate Modern, which was actually like kind of cool. Like, I love modern art because it's either like really fucking strange or like really beautiful. So we saw a lot of both, and they had a nice view at the top. So we went after that, my sky garden failed. So that was really nice because I got my view in the end. So yes. And the view is on the 10th floor, which is free. The view is free, so you should go and see the view. It's nice. But the queues for the elevators are really intense, so if you're fit, take the stairs. And if you're not fit like me, still take the stairs because it is more sustainable. The other things I did in London, because I had nice weather, I, you know, walked along the river and walked across London Bridge, which is like super disappointing. It's a tower bridge that's actually really pretty. Another thing that I went to / walked through was Borough Market, which was super nice. And I know I'm putting it under the activity section when technically it's also food, but I mean, I grew up in Malaysia, food is the activity, so go there and eat food as your activity of what you're doing in London. I don't know. Anyway, they have a lot of cool stalls and things. They also had a lot of organic things because like London is like hipstery, you know? And I also got coffee there at a place where they taught homeless people to become baristas so that they get a job, which I think is super nice. And if you bring your takeaway coffee cup, you know, your reusable one, then it's like good for the planet and good for the people. But of course I forgot my takeaway coffee cup thing, so I took a plastic paper one, which is it's not good, but I'm human and I wanted coffee, so I'm sorry. But yeah, that's all that I did in London, and I thought it could be a nice source of inspiration to you if you want to do more than just your typical touristy things, / where to shop and eat and how to get around. And I don't know why I always do weird arm movements towards the ends of the video. Ooh, my next video is going to be a thrift flip video, so that's going to be exciting because I have no sewing skills whatsoever, so that's gonna be a fun one. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my face, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any friends going to London, share them this video. That's not English. Share this video with them. If you've been to London and you have other suggestions for people, leave a comment down below because that's just like super helpful. And have a great day.